Good evening. Oh, come on, we can do better than that. Good evening, everyone. There we go. You didn't think you were coming to church. Surprise! Welcome to our house concert. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. James McAllister. I'm the chair of the music department at Kansas Wesleyan University. You are in for a treat tonight. I've been calling this concert for weeks, the everything, including the kitchen sink concert, and that's exactly what you're getting. You look at this program, and we've got everything going. Now, on the one hand, we've got everything going, that's great. On the second hand, it looks like it's a lot of stuff. These tunes are very short, okay? So it's not like we're doing Beethoven's Ninth Symphony up here for each and everything. So 4 times, okay. Excellent, thanks, Chris. So I'm really excited about this concert because of 2 things. First of all, it showcases everything that we've been doing this whole year, really. From the first fall semester to the spring semester, all the ensembles, all the students have been working so hard and doing everything that we asked them to do. The second thing is, and this is a little self-serving, but the last piece is a piece that I composed, and that's not the important part. The important part is that it's going to feature everybody all together, the bands, the orchestra, and the choir all together. And it ends the concert. I'm really excited about it, even if it is a weird piece by a weird composer. I'm just kidding, it's a joke. Calm down. All right. So I'm going to be kind of the MC here tonight. Expect not the usual polish that we have at our concerts where we have Chloe Lovett and her crew kind of moving things around. This is going to be very much catch as catch can. When we have a second to move stuff around, that's what we're going to do. Just bear with us a little bit. If it runs too long, I'll start telling jokes, so it'll be great. I have a whole host of musician jokes that's going to, hopefully I won't have to get to, but that's a different story. So our first ensemble is one that you've been hearing all over the place at our home football and basketball games. The Howl of Kansas Wesleyan University. I'm excited about this because these kids are kind of and I call them kids, I don't mean that as pejorative, I'm just a lot older than they are. I know that they are young adults, so you'll just have to forgive me for a second. These students have been kind of at the forefront of getting this particular ensemble going. So I'm really excited that they're going to perform in concert for you and get the due diligence that they deserve. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to hand things over to my colleague, Professor Chris Merchant. He's going to take it from there. Let's have a hand for Chris Merchant.
Good evening. So, as Dr. McAllister said, I'm Chris Merchant, the Director of Athletic Bands here. We're going to start things off with the Howl with a song that we hope all of you purple people know and love, our fight song. And then we'll go right into one of our favorite tunes to play during sports ball season, as we like to call it here, Chelsea Dagger. See if I can put that away right. There we go. All right. 1, 2, 3. up to our next ensemble. We have one more of our favorites. Y'all know it as Rockin' Robin. We know it as number 25 or Birds. All right, so Rockin' Robin will be our closer tune today. One, two, three,
Have another hand for the howl, everybody. And probably what will be the switches, the quickest switcheroo of the night. We're going to have the howl go off, and the Wesleyan chorale is going to come up, conducted by my colleague Dr. Ann Gassman, accompanied by my other colleague, Dr. Gustavo Capano. And they're going to be performing a song that will be familiar to most of you. Sure. Absolutely. We can't forget our amazing Kansas Hall of Fame music educator, Dean Kranzler, on the drum set. Let's have a round of applause for Dean. See, I told you that was fast. I didn't even get to a musician joke, so consider yourselves lucky.
What's the matter with the clothes on
case you didn't get the reference, that was a bright orange pair of pants. So. Next, we're going to have our string orchestra. Maneuver up. We got some. I think it's time for a musician to. How does the trombone player make his car more aerodynamic?
Ow!
He takes this Domino's pizza sign off the top. Thank you. Difference between a dead snake in the road and a dead trombone player in the road. Snake was on the way to a gig. Okay, I will spare you the rest of the trombone player jokes. This is our KWU string orchestra conducted by my colleague, Dr. Leo Rosario, who is an excellent conductor, an excellent musician, and an excellent violinist. Let's have a round of applause for him and the students.
All right. Good evening, everyone. So this is the string orchestra. The first piece that we're going to play for you is from the Disney movie Encanto. Glad to see some children here, and I think they're going to enjoy this particular piece. It is arranged by our colleague and conductor for the Howl, Chris Merchant. He's going to talk about his arrangement. Chris?
Some arranger folk out there, and composer folk, you might not have heard of this C whatever that weird last name is, Junior. That's me. I'm Chris Merchant, and yes, I am a junior. And the music of Encanto, it was a great film, first off. But then also the music was really, really good. And Dr. Rosario and I got to talking, and we thought, man, We Don't Talk About Bruno would make a great string orchestra tune. But at the time we started talking about that, like a month ago or so, those arrangements weren't out yet. You go to our sheet music retailers and you see it's coming, it's gonna come soon. Not soon enough for us. So working with Dr. Rosario, he was gracious enough to allow me to write an arrangement of this tune for this ensemble. So this will be its first performance, so y'all get a world premiere of an arrangement of a tune that you probably already heard 1,000 times. But this is a new version of it, I promise. So We Don't Talk About Bruno by, of course, Lin-Manuel Miranda, arranged by me.
So the second piece that we're playing in the program is a conga. It's a Cuban conga. But before we do that, I just need to apologize. I did some huge mistake today. So I'm changing the piece of the program. We decided with the orchestra, the rehearsal yesterday, and I forgot to tell my fellow percussion ensemble. So they brought the timpani, they brought congas, they brought a lot of percussion instruments to play with us, and I forgot to tell them. I apologize. Sorry about that. Okay, so I hope you enjoy. There is a portion in the middle that we have some improvisation, so that you hear the strings using their instrument as percussion, and then at some point I'm going to ask them to play a little bit softer. So we have Tatum. He's going to start to improvise in his bass, also playing percussion on the bass. I hope you enjoy it.
Another round of applause for our string orchestra. Now, just so you know that I can take it as well as dish it out, here's some saxophone players. Okay. What do you call 400 saxophones at the bottom of the ocean? A good start. What's the difference between a saxophone and a lawnmower? You can tune a lawnmower. Hey, miraculously, we're ready to go. Thank you so much. So you guys are in for a real treat here with these next two pieces. I've made no secret the amount of respect and admiration I have for my colleagues, my faculty colleagues, and you're going to hear two performances that are going to really knock your socks off. The first, we have a rendition of Ella Fitzgerald's signature song, Tisket or Tasket, followed very quickly by this Dueling Pianos. And one of the things that I heard really as soon as I walked on campus back in August was last May at the Pops concert, this Dueling Pianos that I heard about between Dr. DeCarmo and Steve Luth, and they just went on and on and on and on about it. I'm like, well, we have to do it again. They're like, and Steve was like, no, I don't think we have to. I'm like, yeah, I think you do have to. So I'm hoping that this is going to live up to all the hype. If it's not, it's Steve's fault, obviously. I'm kidding, it's a joke. So we're ready. I want to recognize again Dean Kranzer on the drum set. You know, I've made no secret about this too. I mean, you know, this is my second tour in Kansas for 13 years. I lived out in Garden City. Even Garden City, Kansas, we knew about Dean Kranzer, and it's a real thrill to work with him. Let me tell you what, it's kind of I'm going to fanboy here in a second because it's a real pleasure to work with Dean and with Steve Luth because I've known Steve forever as well. So I'm gonna stop talking before I embarrass myself, and I'm going to leave the music to speak for itself. So please welcome our faculty performances.
Yeah, I have a vocal part here too. Yeah. I tried to get Mr. Kranzler and Dr. Carmel to join in with me, but they just won't do it. So I got it covered here. Oh, I won't forget. They have to, I'm getting to that age where I'm getting deaf and I can't remember things. So they always have to remind me, make sure you do this, go over here. So anyway, this is last year we did a jazz, and if you haven't heard Dr. Gaskell sing, not only is she the master of lead, if you know what that means, ask the vocal students, they'll tell you, and the choir area, but she also does a mean Ella Fitzgerald. And I heard this piece last year with another group that I worked with, and I was thinking, what can we do? And this tune came to mind, and none of the people in the band heard it before. And when I played it, they go, are you serious? So I said, yes, it's going to be cute. So this is a Tisket, a Tasket, featuring Dr. Ann Gaskell and myself on vocal.
The tears basket. I lost my yellow basket. Won't someone help me find my basket? Make me happy again, again.
Was it green?
No, 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 no.
Was it red?
No, 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 no.
Was it blue?
No, 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 no. Just a little yellow basket. A little yellow basket.
Okay. So I need to explain this a little bit. First of all, this thing's 225 measures long. Okay. It was 300, but I cut it back. So, but anyway, Dr. DeCarmo and I come from completely different backgrounds, except for one thing. A little tidbit of trivia that you did not know, that Dr. DeCarmo played in a rock band in Brazil. Anyway, should we digress? But when we first met each other, we were talking about different things, and that's what we were doing in my office one day. I was playing old rock tunes. And Dr. Carmel has a wicked sense of humor that some of you don't realize, and I may be the only one that does because I've seen it. And I'm just nuts. And so, anyway, Dr. DeCarmo is a very distinguished classical pianist. I mean, he's seriously the best piano player I have known personally, besides Van Cliburn. So, and I'm one of these that I quit taking piano lessons when I was 13 because I thought it's boys don't take piano lessons anymore. And so I started playing a lot by ear. And so some of this stuff we're doing here is written, and some of it isn't. So this is Dueling Pianos. Diminished chord. May the force be with you. was 239.
Don't encourage him. How about another round of applause for our talented faculty? No, I have two bones to pick with Steve Luth about that. First and foremost, I just got November song out of my head, so thanks for that. Thanks, I appreciate that. The second point is that, it's only an hour concert, so maybe you should trim that down a little. Thanks. So what happens when you encourage him? This is your fault. All right, we are getting set up for our jazz ensemble, which I don't know if you know this, and I'm going to brag on Steve Luth for a second, because this jazz ensemble is not a traditional jazz ensemble the way that we see a big band of 18 players, trumpets, trombones, saxophones, rhythm section. Steve has crafted something kind of unique in the jazz world. Essentially, it's what I grew up listening to a group called Super Sax, which was essentially a collection of saxophone players in a jazz band setting who did arrangements of Charlie Parker solos and other things that were voiced in a really kind of interesting way. And what Steve has done here is he's put together a super sax group with a trombone and a rhythm section. So most of the arrangements that you hear with our jazz ensemble are arranged by Steve Luth himself. And Steve is a tremendous arranger as well as a tremendous pianist and a tremendous tuba player and a tremendous educator. So let's have a round of applause for Steve Luth as he organizes. If you'll indulge me for a second, I have to go and get my axes, as we say. So I think Steve's going to tell some jokes, which I'm going to apologize in advance for.
Thank you. I'm going to pull a audible here. As the saxophones are coming up, we're going to do Hit Me With a Hot Note first. Yep. Yeah. Dr. McAllister getting here, and we're all the music. Oh, that's fine. That's all right. As we're finishing getting set up here, I've been blessed to work with a lot of great faculty people, but also a lot of great students, and we get to do a lot of various different things here that I wouldn't normally get to do if we didn't have the ability to do it. You saw Tayton playing string bass a little while ago. You're going to see Dr. McAllister playing alto, soprano, sax tonight. Dorian's playing viola and string bass. And we've got all sorts of stuff going on here. You're going to hear Raquel sing and Eric sing here in a minute. And do some different things. So the sax section will take on some different roles tonight. I'm going to give you another A here real quick. So Dr. McAllister. And Raquel, you want to go ahead and come on up here? I'll give you the microphone here in a minute. Anywhere you want to. Let's see here. Just about. She'll hold the mic.
You need it for the rest of the concert.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
I think it's great about this group is they listen to a lot of different eclectic music. And this is a song we found. It's a Duke Ellington tune. Features Raquel on vocals. This is Hit Me With a Hot Note.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Hit me with a watch me bounce. Hit me with the hot note and watch me bounce. Hit me with the hot note and watch me bounce. Hit me with the hot note and watch me bounce. When trumpets heat up, give me a rub to beat up. Hit me with the hot note and watch me bounce. Hit me with the hot note and watch me burn. Slap me down with rhythm from stem to stern. When saxons flare up, how can I keep my hair up? Hit me with the hot note and watch me bounce. Stop that trombone sliding while I gather steam. Bring that tempo right in, and now I'm right on the beat. Hit me with the hot note and watch me bounce. Knock me out with music in great amounts. Oh, let that beat wave, have it keep wave. Hit me with the hot note and watch me bounce. Stop that trombone sliding while I gather steam. Bring that tempo right in, right in. Make it go. The hot note, watch me bounce. Knock me out with music and great amounts. Oh, let that beat wave, have it keep wave. Hit me with the hot note and watch me
Okay, we're going to get switched around here again a little bit. This next one is a song I do that, well, actually, Mr. Cranston and I do with a local group here called The Blades, and I love playing it, and I love making all sorts of strange sounds out of my piano doing this. And Eric loves jazz, old jazz, especially Frank Sinatra, and we're glad to have him. And Dr. McAllister watched his alto sax and it shrunk, and old bad joke. So anyway, get him going here. I'll get back here and get him tuned up, and we're going to hear Eric Stockton do Mr. Pinstripe Suit. Also features Billy back there on drum set. 6.
Appreciate my colleagues because they've been so flexible in just like putting the percussion together, and Dr. DeCarmo is an amazing accompanist and he just works with our group so well, and I just love them so much.
round of applause for our Philharmonic Choir. We're going to do a quick switch already. The wind ensemble is going to come up and get set up for our last set. I want to, we've been having a lot of fun tonight, and I just want to take a second and just tell you about my experience here at Kansas Wesleyan University. As you know, this is my first year here, and I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be here, because this university, as I've said before in other places, is really quite special. And I'm being very serious when I talk about that, because the energy that's here is unique, I think, to this campus. I think that the faculty are terrific. I think the administration is fantastic. I love the involvement of the alumni. I love the involvement of the board of trustees and everybody else who's kind of involved with how this university runs. So when people ask me, particularly my friends back on the East Coast, how's it going? I tell them very, very seriously, it's going fantastically, because this university is really poised for a really, really big growth in music. Everyone is aware of our capital campaign, are moving forward with the addition to Sam's Chapel. I'm hoping that next year, this time, we'll be have some Charlies and Browns, but I'm not here tonight to talk about that. What I'm here tonight to talk about is really the human element, because I think that's the secret ingredient to our success. These students, all of them, are top-notch. They're wonderful musicians, but even better than that, they're very caring, they're very interested in making this place better. So, there's lots of talk, particularly when I go out and talk to other people in the news, whatever, about young people today and how they don't care about things, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What I say to those people is, you don't know our band kids. You don't know our choir kids. You don't know our orchestra kids. These future leaders are going to be just fine, because I've seen it here all over campus, not just in our ensembles, but the student body in general. And I really think our students are a secret ingredient. So I want to take a second and have a round of applause for all of our students. And I've been to a couple different institutions, and I'll tell you that Wesleyan students, I think, are beyond compared to anybody else, because of their openness, because of their values, because of the way that they interact with each other and with the faculty. So I can't begin to tell you how proud I am of these students and the work that they've done this year. So I'm going to get off my soapbox about that. I also want to thank somebody who I know is here, but he's kind of hanging out upstairs and he probably doesn't want the attention, but I want to thank Dr. Matt Thompson, because it's due to his vision that we're here. It's due to his vision about a strong, vibrant music department that we're moving in this direction. And I'd like a round of applause for Dr. Matt Thompson. And believe me, he doesn't want the credit, and he doesn't want the applause and the accolades, but he's doing it because he believes fiercely that this university is going to grow. He believes fiercely that this music department is going to grow. And I have a message for everybody who's watching our music department. We're back. I see nothing but blue skies and sunny days ahead for our music department, and I'm thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled to be part of this endeavor, and I'm thrilled to be working with these students, and I'm thrilled that everybody came out tonight. So I'm going to stop talking because I think they're all set. And we're going to do a march called Americans We, which we performed last week, but we'll perform it again. It's by Henry Fillmore. It's a great classic march. I hope that you enjoy it. Let's have a tuning up, please, Professor. I'll just speak loud. So we're going from the sublime to the ridiculous. March the Cooper Wood Sprites by Peter Q. Bach. This is a musical in-joke, okay, because we know that Johann Sebastian Bach had 20 plus children, 4 of whom became pretty big-time musicians in their own right in the classical era. William Friedman, Johann Christian, C.P.E. Bach, and there's the 4th one that I always forget. It doesn't matter. The joke is that, of course, PDQ is the last son of Bach. Okay? PDQ Bach is an invention of Peter Schickli, who is a musicologist. I think he's based in Harvard. He's known for these very much tongue-in-cheek depictions of these lost music by this PDQ Bach. His most famous thing is the play-by-play of Beethoven's 5th Symphony. If you haven't heard this, go home tonight, YouTube, play-by-play Beethoven's 5th Symphony, and you're going to hear a performance of the first movement of Beethoven's 5th Symphony that's done as if it was a color commentary like you hear in baseball. So it's very much tongue-in-cheek, and the joke here is that this music is played very seriously, but it's utterly ridiculous. So I hope that you enjoy March the Cooper Wood Sprites. Okay, we come to our final selection this evening. Original composition by some composer, some guy. While they're getting set up, I just want to thank my colleagues. Dr. Ann Gassman, a round of applause for her, please. Dr. Leonardo Rosario. Dr. Gustavo de Carmo. Steve Luth. And last but certainly not least, Chris Merchant. While they're getting set, I also want to take a second to make sure that we thank some of our percussionists who have traveled a long way and somehow they don't make it into the program. First, Bridget Long.
And Hannah Applequist. So, Telefunk was commissioned by a group of music educators in Pennsylvania, one of whom I knew from way back when I was a beginning band director. And every spring they put together what they call a gala concert. They've been commissioning composers to write a piece for their combined 5th grade band, choir, and orchestra, which is actually a pretty tall task because there's lots of moving parts with that kind of thing. So I said, yes, I'd love to do that. They sent me this poem called E-Telephony, which is, oddly enough, about an elephant using a telephone. So it's kind of whimsical. The first thing I did was I sat down and I wrote the song that matched this poem. It was kind of interesting, kind of jazzy, and made it work. And then I put it together for this combined group, band, orchestra, and choir, which, just a little bit of inside baseball here with music, some of those things don't get along. Orchestra plays in sharp keys, bands generally play in flat keys, and so it was kind of hard to just kind of get that. The other challenge was how do we make parts that work for beginning instrumentalists who haven't had a chance to kind of learn their instruments that well. So that was the second part of that challenge. What you hear tonight, Telefunk, is not actually the piece that those guys are going to premiere next March. It's the original version that I did that, after looking at it, decided it was way too hard for 5th graders to play. And it was way too long. So I did a version that's kind of cut down, that has a lot of the same elements, very similar elements, and will work for that group. They're going to premiere it hopefully next March. I got special permission from them to do this particular performance this evening. So this is actually the first time anybody's heard this piece. So it's kind of a world premiere, but not really. What I enjoyed about it was the fact that it put all of us together. The wind ensemble, the howl, the choir, and the orchestra all together. So what you see is the combined music department premiering this piece that I wrote about 2 years ago. It's been sitting on the shelf for that long. So without further ado, here's Telefunk. Thank you so much for coming out this evening. Hope that you enjoyed this conference.
No
Thank you so much for joining this evening. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.